community is about people and people's engagement in that and their sense of being and their sense of belonging and their sense of ownership.
Three main things that make us happy: the kind of work that we do on a day-to-day basis, the people that we are in relationship with, and the place in which we live.
Community where I came from, everybody's door is open. It doesn't matter what time you need something. It doesn't matter what time you knock on the door. If you have a need of something, somebody will open the door.
The strength of the community is totally determined by the people who are part of that community, and it's determined by the relationships that there are.
The community is a composite of the people and the experiences of the people, the things that they've done and the things that they want to see happen in the future.
You lose the word community when you become individualistic and hostile and competitive and greedy. I mean, if those become the watchwords, then you don't have community.
Everybody, I think, wants the same, and that is that you want a safe place to live, you want a place to come home to where you know people by name and you feel welcome.
Community is a commitment by people to make sure that we bring out the best in each other.
Community is absolutely critical to how we thrive and how well we are, but it doesn't necessarily mean a community that's bound by a geographical boundary or a border that's been drawn by a human being.
We pretty much come from the same point of view. We pretty much are all looking for the same thing, to belong, to be happy.
But basically we're the same. We're human beings that need love, that need care, that need people to reach out to us, and then we also have a need to reach out to others.
And we talk about the benefit for all of our community, and so we look at all of those different partnerships that we need to create with our corporate community, with our government sector, and with the voluntary nonprofit sector.
It's kind of like playing in an orchestra. You have to have all the instruments on tune and they all have to be playing the same song at the same time. So you have to have the social side, the political side, the economic side. I mean, it all has to work to be the right kind of community.
The challenges and opportunities are best met when there's a collaboration between all of those interests and a healthy dose of volunteerism from a very broad spectrum in our community.
A greater sense of community, I guess, a greater sense of social justice, a greater sense of being my brother's keeper. We don't need anything new. That's a long-standing problem, but we haven't overcome it just by being rich.
There are important aspects and organizations in our community that I think do a fine job of mentoring young people that have an interest in their community and want to make a contribution. There is a pathway.
As long as we're respectful of each other and we work together on that, then I can only learn from those individuals and I can only grow from their experiences and from what they have to offer me. If we sit back and we expect a core group of people to do it all for us, it won't happen. So the more of us that become involved, the easier it becomes.
I think we're in a time of great need right now, maybe because we've got so much material wealth.
It's not just the fact that we give to community, it's that we depend on this community for our living and for our livelihood and for our enjoyment, and they depend on us for those same things. So we have to offer what gifts we have in exchange for what gifts they have.
It's using the cultural facilities that are available. It's accessing the sporting events. It's giving back as a volunteer. That symbolizes community to me.
Community is the people that give back to the community and give to each other and support each other so that there's a good lifestyle and a good experience for everyone.
I think of people that are refugees or immigrants coming to Canada. I think of the temporary foreign workers. Community is about making them welcome and letting them have a place among us.
You can't force people to volunteer and you can't force people to be part of a community. All you can do is do what you can do yourself to be a part of that community without burning yourself out.
You can create the neighborhood you want, and you can create the city that you want if you're willing to put the time and effort in yourself.
There isn't a singular pathway to trying to have a positive impact on your community. There are many ways. And I guess ultimately what we have to do is find our passion.
It's all about helping individuals get stable, and I mean that's part of building a community, because you need the individual effort to build a strong community.
Everybody's positive usually when you're volunteering, and if they're not, they don't last long.
You get the feeling that you've accomplished something. You get the feeling that the place you live in is better for it.
As you volunteer within your community, you are part of a bigger family. And as you become part of that bigger family, you become more connected with your community. And as you become more connected, you want to help more people.
When you point at somebody because you want them to do something, there's that ownership that comes back to you threefold around leadership and around understanding what it is you want them to do, and also around rolling up your sleeves to work with them while it's being done.
I've had a saying through my life that it really paints a picture that you can't go through life with a catcher's mitt on both hands. You have to be able to throw something back. And I think that says it all.
We can't just visit it today and say, okay, I've done my little piece. It becomes part of who you are, I think.
In my soul, I believe you can only succeed at something by working in partnership with others.
There's a very powerful word, and it's called inclusion. If there's any one threat to us as a community, it's this division that works against inclusion.
No man lights a lamp and hides it under a bushel. I mean, if you've got something that you think is important, then you should let people know. And if it sets an example for others to do the same thing, what's wrong with that?
It's so simple that it's crazy people don't do it, but it's part of how I grew up in a small town. There was no formality. You just walk up and say hi to somebody.
I still see Red Deer knowing the importance of having common meeting areas, putting people together, having spaces that draw people in to do things together.
Points that bring people together, where they can celebrate, have food, where there's music, where there's the ability to be able to talk and share and interact.
You can have all the bricks and mortar, but if you don't have the people that interact so that at some point emotional needs are being met, you don't have a community.
If we get to a place where all of our citizens feel valued, then we've made some huge strides.
I don't think anything is beyond the realm of possibility. It's just changing your thinking. You know, your own thoughts really limit what you can actually achieve.
Participate, get involved, be part of your community, give back. You can't continue to take. Someone has to give back.
They give up time with their families, and that's a sacrifice. But the reality is, what they're really doing is making a sacrifice and giving up some time for the next generation of their family in terms of helping to build a better Red Deer.
You have to look at 7 fundamentals in life, and that's these things you have to kind of look after and in balance. And it's family and your friends, your health, your finances, your career, and your community. And the most important one is your reputation.
I am filled with wonder at what the Lord can do when we as a community work together, and what the community can do when it comes together for the benefit of others.
I think we've almost are experiencing that pioneering spirit that we did back when our grandfathers and great-grandfathers settled in Canada. And I think it is monumental.
We have the opportunity to help build our community and our society and make things better and for future generations. And I think and hope and pray that other generations will feel the same and will get on board and continue that legacy.
We believe we have a leadership role to play in that, in taking that message forward to the community and asking them whether it's the services that we have here that they want to become involved with, whether it's the services in other nonprofits that they want to become involved with. Their lives will be richer by doing that.